Subaru.
Plus Ultra. Welcome in. My name is Kyle. With me today, Federico.
What's up?
What is up, Feds, my friend?
Not much.
Episode 72. We get another Kirishima episode. This one simply titled Red Riot. Gotta tell you, Feds, I have been loving all the Kirishima love that we've gotten in the last month or so.
Yeah, man. I think it's like 2 out of the last 4 episodes or something like that.
Yeah. And, you know, he plays well with Tamajiki. And we got a big piece of that a few weeks ago. And we had a Tamajiki episode just last week. I've been elated with how much Kirishima love we've been getting. Rightfully so. I will say, though, recent developments have me paranoid as fuck about this now. Okay? Recent developments in the Twitter world that we will talk about toward the end of this episode. Because I don't want to jump ahead. You know what I'm saying? But, man, this Kirishima love got me feeling a different type of way. Paranoid way. And I don't like it, I dare say.
Neither do I.
Today. Hey. Episode 72, Red Riot. We're picking up off episode 71 where Tamajiki has now finished off 3 bullets of the Shie Saikai. I gotta get better at that. He gives them the neurotoxin from his toxin.
The neurotoxin.
Gives him the neurotoxin, dude. From his tentacles. That's not a very Boston way to say tentacles.
No.
From his flippers guy.
This fucking tentacles, dude.
Gives him the neurotoxins from his octopus tentacles, and it paralyzes them so that way they can't run away. Well, cool. Great. We're on the up and up now. Tamajiki has subdued his targets or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Except that, ever self-aware Tamajiki's like, man, that took a little bit too long. A little bit longer than I expected. Hope I bought them some time. Hope I, helped whatever, get them to overhaul faster. I better get on with it. And then he goes to leave, and then he falls down, go boom.
Yeah, by the way, it's Amajiki.
What the fuck am I saying?
Tamajiki.
Why am I saying Amajiki?
You should be saying Amajiki.
So what's the T coming from?
His first name is Tamaki.
Tamaki Amajiki.
Yes.
See, I'm taking the 2
You're combining them.
and putting them into 1. Tamajiki. We should just call him Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Hi. My new hero name's just Tom. It's a lot easier. It's it's combining of 2 names, my 2 names into 1, and then shortened down to 3 letters. It's Tom.
It's Tom now.
Amajiki. Wow. Good job calling me out. I like it. Saved me a lot of editing time.
Good.
Lord knows I need it. 90 minutes of fucking malarkey the other night. Jesus Christ. So he fall down, go boom. Yep. I doubled down on that one. So what's going to happen?
I don't know, man.
Is he dead?
I hope not.
What if he's
But
dead?
he looks like he's exhausted as fuck.
So, all right. You know what? We may as well talk about it now. All right, because it kind of, I forgot that this is how the episode started when I teased it because I forget how things happen until I look at the things that I wrote down 10 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. So, Amajiki falls down. We've got a lot of Kirishima stuff. We had a very Amajiki heavy episode last week. It was literally called Sun Eater, the big 3.
Yep.
I'm a little worried, paranoid, for purposes of, not purposes, that's not the right way to say it. Colleen Clinkenbeard, all right, voice actress for Funimation, does a lot of different work, but she is Momo Yayorozu on My Hero Academia. She posted up a picture on Instagram, Twitter the other day. I think it was Instagram. I screenshotted it, then I put it on Twitter because I'm paranoid. And she said, just got done recording the vocals for, the dubs for episode 74 of My Hero Academia. That was not okay. And she's in tears, all visibly emotional. So that said, we've had emotional moments every goddamn week for 72 episodes.
Yep.
My Hero Academia is one of those shows that goes out of its way each and every time, each and every episode, to have that moment, maybe sometimes more than one, where you feel something. It emotionally resonates with you, whether that be uplifting and happy or like sad. And some of the stuff that we've seen in Kirishima's flashback today is a good example of that, and how he feels like he's failed in his past or whatever. My point is, we've seen a lot of really overly emotional moments. One of the things we haven't really seen in this show is the death of any major characters. We've seen All Might retire, and that's something that will make a grown man sob every fucking day of the week, but ultimately All Might is still alive. So
yep.
I think for a reaction like that, for her to pop out the booth and take a picture and her memorializing that moment, I think it means that death is imminent. So who is that person? We see Tom. We see Amajiki fall to the floor at the beginning of this episode today.
Yep.
And he seems like he's
exhausted everything, man.
Way past his limit.
Yeah.
And that's not a good sign in the shonen world. Unless like you're way past your limit and then you stay conscious and then you overcome your limit and then you kick the shit out of the villain. He doesn't have the opportunity to do that because, again,
he's still a teenager.
He fall down, go boom. So he's passed out.
And you fall down and go boom, man. Fall down and go boom.
Thanks for helping me out there. So I think Amajiki's definitely a candidate. So I bring up the focus that we had on him last week and in the last few episodes. And, you know, more specifically like Fat Gum and his agency and like the characters around it, him, Kirishima, and Amajiki. We've also had a lot of Kirishima, right? You know, when The Walking Dead was getting ready to kill a motherfucker?
Yep.
And they'd be like, hey, here's like a 45-minute episode where
Right.
32 minutes of it revolves around this character's backstory from 3 years ago that you never wanted to see, but never going to make you think that you wanted to see it. So that way next week or maybe the week after, this motherfucker will get his throat slit and you'll feel really sad about it, even though you didn't give any shits about Axel, the redheaded fucking mechanic, the week previous. You know how they do that?
Yeah.
I'm real worried. That's what My Hero Academia is doing right now. Not that Kirishima isn't a character that we wouldn't give a shit about anyway. Amajiki, though, we didn't have much of a reason to care about him until the last few episodes that he's been heavily featured in. Not the last couple meeting in succession, but the last two since this season have started.
Right.
We've had an opportunity to get to know him. We've seen flashbacks, a little third grade him, transferring into little. Now I got a little Amajiki running around in my brain, a little Tom.
Yep.
I don't feel good about that.
Oh, man.
If I see little Tom die, I'm going to be so sad.
Me too.
But I'll be even more upset if Kirishima's the one to bite it.
Yeah.
Possibility exists.
I don't know.
Let's talk about people that we think are safe, at least. Deku.
Yeah.
And
Imagine.
Chaco.
They just killed Deku. Show over.
Yeah.
Done.
And that's how the show ends. The middle of the third season, no resolve. Deku's eyes closed, the world goes away.
Yep.
It was all a dream. Used to read Word Up magazine. I think you have to keep in mind with Colin Clinkenbeard's reaction to this, it's got to be a character that we've got some kind of heavy connection to, some kind of heavy tie to. So that said, I don't think it's Deku or Chaco. I think a good candidate could be, like we said, Kirishima, Amajiki, our boy Tom. I think an easy one for them to do without really much setup on their part, so I think maybe they won't do it, but I think an easy one for them to do just to like get the not cheap, I mean, it's a character we love, but I think Froppy would be a really easy person for them to kill.
Why is that, though?
Because she's a character that we've known a lot. She's not super central to this plot, it seems anyway. She's very much on the fringes of it, but she's there. She's not a Chaco. She's not best girl. So, and I always have been of the opinion that Froppy is kind of an underutilized character. Like,
Yeah, me too.
in a lot of ways, she was one of the only students. I think we've talked about it before. She's one of the only students that came into UA with a very firm understanding of how to use her quirk.
Yep.
And we haven't seen her have to go through like the understanding of how to use it. Like she already knows. We've just seen her get better and better over time.
And always calm, cool, collective too.
Yeah, always. And the great example of it is the raid on the USJ when her and Deku have to work together in that fucking boat water arena zone, whatever it is. Great example of it. So with her, because she's not super central to the plot, but she is somebody that we've known since, the first 8 episodes or whatever of the series, killing her wouldn't exactly. I mean, it's a kid who's dying, not a hero. So that in and of itself is a little bit more impactful, I think.
Yep.
And it's not somebody who the story cannot move forward without.
That's true.
Unfortunately, I love
Yeah,
Froppy.
Me too.
I feel like I should probably use that Monica Rial sound right now. Wonder if I used it.
I don't know, man. Only time will tell.
Anyway, she could be an easy one for them to get rid of without much of a headache surrounding it. So that's 3 people that we've mentioned: Kirishima, Amajiki, Froppy. I think Aizawa could be a pretty good candidate because he seems to be a big focus of the Shie Hasaikai's like efforts to try to thwart what they're up to.
Right.
So there's a good example in this episode where Mimic shoots out this big old steel pillar at Aizawa in the hallway when all seems really calm. It just leaps out the wall, and Aizawa's like, oh man, he's trying to take me out before I can use my quirk. He knows how important it is to get rid of a guy like that in this situation.
Yeah, man.
But Fat Gum and Kirishima take the hit. They go down the little spooky trap laundry chute door, and they fight the sword and shield crazy mofks in the basement.
Spear and shield.
They weren't on the quirk list. You weren't on the list. That's why we live in the basement. That's what I imagine their story is anyway. You're not on the quirk list because they make you live in the basement. So that's 1, 2, 3. Aizawa maybe. I still think maybe All Might's a possibility.
Yeah, but then they'd have to write him into this episode going to that.
And we'll get there in the preview. So let's talk about episode 72. We already talked about Tamajiki. We think maybe he might die. Let's hope that he doesn't. Okay.
Did Tamajiki again.
Because Tamaki Amajiki.
Yes.
I can do it, but my brain just is looking for shortcuts wherever I can find it right now, I guess. Tom. Remember when Tom-Toms were things before iPhones?
What was a Tom?
A GPS?
Oh, yeah.
What a stupid name.
That was when GPSs were popular.
And, like, if you had a GPS in your car, it was, like, guaranteed that your car was going to get broken into.
Yeah. You left the big-ass disc mark on your windshield.
Man, being poor never served me so well as it did back in the day. GPS being prominent before iPhones.
Yep.
Anyway, Tom, he got his ass knocked out. Got the credits. Arohi naroru toki nata yakusoku waku gono meni. Like that shit? Been practicing.
I guess so.
I have. So we see the group running down the hallway. It's a big old group. And that's when we have the scene that I just referenced a moment ago with Mimic suddenly taking his power. Like they kind of have like the conversation like everything's calm right now. He must be upstairs focusing on the police.
Right.
In reality, he's just trying to pick a spot to try to strike because he knows if he pokes out, I think they say so much as an eye or an ear or whatever to try to get a look at the heroes.
Yeah, eyes what can shut him down.
He's going to be like, with his eyes, not with his mouth.
Yes, that's how it works.
So he kind of pulls a little sneaky on him.
Yep.
And tries to hit him with this big pillar of, brick cement hallway. And
the wall.
Hit them with the wow. That's when Lord Fat Gum comes in.
Lord Fat Gum?
He's pretty fucking royal.
How is he royal?
He's portly in nature, which used to be a fucking sign of nobility back in the Dizzy. He's kind of pale, too.
Isn't this supposed to be modern?
What?
Isn't this supposed to be modern?
Yeah, but maybe he's a man of old values and class systems.
Maybe.
I think I
He
might
doesn't have a crown or anything.
He got a hood, though. I got a hood, too. Look at it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Am I Fat Gums?
No.
Fat Gums?
Fat Gums?
I started just calling them Fats. Anyway.
Fats Domino.
Fats Domino. So he takes the hit, but he's not the only hero in the room, ladies and gentlemen. No. A young man, E. That's what his friends call him.
Right?
Ijiro Kirishima, a.k.a. the Red Riot. he also takes the hit, and they fought on the spooky laundry chute together. And
The spooky laundry chute.
it's a spooky laundry chute,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
It's like a Scooby-Doo thing. Yeah. And they fall down, and there's two chuds in the basement they got to duke it out with. One of which is a big muscle man. He's a real fighter.
Yeah.
And by that he means he don't like no guns. He don't like no knives.
He just want to punch you in the head.
I like that Kirishima hates guns too. So he said that a couple episodes ago. I'm not too fond of guns right now. This guy, same page. Just wants to fisticuffs it out. I get it. Sometimes you just want to grab your friend by the throat, throw him down the stairs,
Yeah, man.
and show a sheer dominance. Show sheer dominance.
Pretty sure that's happened before.
What are you talking about?
That time you fucking choked out Brian Miller in Dunkin' Donuts.
I did it at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, it was at Dunkin' Donuts. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that time. It's not the only time I choked him out.
Oh, well, there's been a number of times you choked him out then.
Yeah. One time was in front of the Easter Bunny.
In front of the Easter Bunny?
Legit.
How?
He said some stupid shit. We were at the Swansea Mall.
What a surprise.
We were at the Swansea Mall. He said some stupid shit. I grabbed him by the throat as we were walking by the Easter Bunny, put him down on the ground, and stopped choking him, and he apologized. And I said, okay. I helped him up. Security was not called by the Easter Bunny.
That's good.
Thank God. You ever
Thank
been
God you
ratted
can
out?
get yeah, right.
You know,
I
you
was
get
about to
ratted
say.
out by the Easter Bunny?
That'd be terrible.
It's a fucking shot to your ego, bro.
Yeah.
You get ratted out by the Easter Bunny. It's like a whole new low.
Yo, these two motherfuckers right here.
Shut the fuck up, Peter Rabbit. Peter Pumpkin Eater. Do rabbits eat pumpkins? Probably not.
No.
I feel like they should, though.
They eat carrots.
Oh, yeah. It's the other
Yeah,
orange
like-
thing they're eating. They're eating carrots.
I'm sure they eat more than just carrots, but
Carotene. Good for the eyes.
yes.
And if you eat too much of it, it turns your skin orange.
Yes.
I learned that from an episode of The Magic School Bus.
Yes. I didn't learn that from that.
Well, you need to up your fucking educational programming game.
Okay. Didn't
Anyway.
know that was so pertinent to my life at this point in time.
Dude, PBS has ads now, okay?
That's terrible.
No shit, it's terrible. Call public funding the fucking thing. See what happens. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Bringing it back. Bringing it back. Kirishima and his hero mentor, Fat Gum, fall down a spooky laundry chute.
Mm-hmm.
And they find these two chuds, sword and shield, chilling in the basement. One guy got big old muscles and wants to punch things. The other guy kind of reminds me of a thin version of Carlton.
Why?
Did you hear the way he talked?
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a gay thing.
No, I know.
That,
I know.
I mean that in this guy
The
clearly thinks
inflections and stuff.
that he's better than this other guy. He talks like such an asshole. Oh my
All right.
God, Carlton. Hope
Now
you're
I can
hearing
see
this
it.
shit, buddy. I know you aren't. Butthole.
I can see your point now.
Gosh. Well, actually. Shut the fuck up, Carlton. That's what actually, okay? God damn it. Glad I got that out. Anyway. This guy reminds me a lot of Carlton. So they make the sword and shield analogy. So this dude who is an asshole and talks like Carlton puts up real big barriers and bubble shield things.
Mm-hmm.
And homeboy with the muscle arms shoots off his fists real fast like he's Fist of the North Star or Ranma Saotome with the Kachutenshin Amaguriken. Yeah, that's right. Tell me I don't like anime ever again. Anyway,
I have no idea what that means.
most people won't. But if I have another motherfucker come at me and say that I only know things about Dragon Ball, I'll take this pen and stab them in the neck.
Okay.
I should probably give a less death threat
Yeah,
for
probably.
the public cut. If another motherfucker says I don't know anything about Dragon Ball, but shit, who cares? We're moving on. Next, Kirishima gets holes punched in his arms by the guy. So the guy's like, the guy meaning big arm old punchy, spaghetti boiled arm no punchy. Oh, That's an old Mike Norm joke. Spaghetti whirlwind arm, no punchy. That's this guy now. So Spaghetti whirlwind arm talks his buddy Asshole Carlton Barrier to let down the shield because he wants a good fight and he wants to duke it out. And he's got like a really weird Goku vibe to him. Like Goku always just wants to fight it out and see the strongest fight. And same kind of deal here. But this guy is oddly really scary about it. So Fat Gum goes to step up, but Kirishima decides that he's going to be the guy to rush in and take that first hit. And it shatters, puts two big old holes right in his forearms. And I looked at him and I said, ooh.
Those look like they hurt.
Well, like, how does that get fixed?
I don't know.
Like, when
Does his skin, like, regenerate fast or something?
I don't know. Like, when he stops being in his hardened state or whatever.
Yeah. Like, what does it look like?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Either way, he gets pushed back against the wall. His absolute hardest form, stance, whatever. The absolute most epitome of being a shield. That's what Asshole Carlton Barrier says to them is it's a sword and a shield, meaning him and his buddy with the Fist of the North Star moves versus a shield and a shield. So Kirishima is a shield that is broken right away.
Mm-hmm.
And he's feeling really down on himself about it, to say the least.
Yep.
And Fat Gum is forced to step up and take the hits, quite literally. So I don't know if I had an understanding of what Fat Gum's absorption quirk was. I think I knew it in theory. I didn't think that it would play out like this. But,
yeah, me either.
Like, we've seen him do, like, shit like absorb.
Like bullets and...
Yeah, or, like, even a knife, I think.
Yeah.
Like, just clean into him. And it almost, like, shapes
And
around
people.
it like a donut. Oh, a person. That's what it was. That, like, actually, like, went through him almost. So, today, he's taking all these hits and absorbing all the power of the punches. And... You know, it's not the most untypical trope, but the way this move is going to be powered is by the power of the enemy. So he stores up all the power of the punches and he releases it. In the meantime, though, we get to see what it looks like when all the fat deteriorates off of him. And he looks like really thin, like in the face. But then you see pictures of his body.
It's like jacked,
he's like
man.
in super fucking shape.
Yeah, he's jacked, man.
So this guy must, I don't know, like how do you consume... Like, you got a character like Sato from 1A who's just, like, chugging cola and candy bars and shit and using the sugar rush as, like, his quirk. What the hell does...
Well, think about it. Like, The Rock and, like, guys like that, they eat, like, fucking, like, 10,000 calorie meals and shit.
But
they just work it all off.
Yeah, but they do it with the understanding that they're using that caloric energy to build their muscles up.
Yeah, I know.
With Fat Gum, like, do you think he just... I mean, A, he's already an in-shape dude. All right.
Yeah.
When he absorbs in all these calories, whatever he does to obviously, I mean, up the BMI, he's the BMI hero. Do you think he just like sits around on his ass for like a few months?
I don't think so, man.
How do you think he regains all that weight so fast?
He
Not
just
that we've
eats.
seen him do it yet.
Right.
Are we gonna have to see thin Fat Gum for the rest of this?
Ooh.
Did we just
that's an interesting take because
did we just add Fat
I
Gum
was
to the
just
potential
about-
of who's gonna die?
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's a lot of possibilities, folks.
I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens. Maybe it's Fat Gum now. Hope not.
Hope not either.
I don't think Fat Gum
Starting to like
dying.
him.
I like him too, but I don't think it would elicit such a strong response from Colin Klinkenbeard to cry out in the booth with tears and post it on Instagram. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's got to be somebody we care more about.
Yeah.
Care about more. Maybe the better way to say that sentence. English is not my first language, so fuck you.
No, it's not.
What's great is if you don't know if I'm lying, then neither do they.
Oh, that's true.
So as Fats Gumino is taking the piss beating of his life.
Fats Gumino?
That's his name.
Okay. All right. Whatever you say, man.
As Fats Gumino is taking the beating of his life, Kirishima is forced to look at his holy forearms and say to himself, oh no, not again. And we get the full flashback from we got teased with a few episodes ago. And when we got teased with it, you and I didn't really talk about it at all because it's such a quick shot in that episode. It's really like less than 20 seconds.
Yep.
We just totally glossed over it. And we did not think or talk about what that flashback could have been. Kind of self-explanatory. At a certain point earlier in his life, maybe he wasn't so heroic. What do you know? This flashback that we get, he's looking at his holy-ass forearms. Good to see him being not so heroic as he attends the Mustafa Private School.
Mustafa. What a name.
I love that Horikoshi does like the names of things, like off of things that he loved. Like he's probably not too much older than we are. Like we're like his peers in terms of age. Obviously not in terms of mangaka or like successful people in the world, but in terms of age.
Yeah.
Mustafar.
Yeah, Mustafar is a planet on Star Wars. So like
Mustafa
is the founder of modern Turkey.
Modern Turkey?
Yeah, like the country.
That's not
not the bird.
I guarantee. I bet you $10.
There's a bunch of fucking doctors with that last name. Surprise.
I'm telling you, Horikoshi did not name that private middle school after the fucking guy who founded the country of Turkey.
There's Mustafa Ali, who was a wrestler.
Nope. I'm telling you, it's a Star Wars thing.
Yep. Well, that's all I got.
All right. So anyway, back at Mustafa, not Mufasa, not Mustafar, not the guy who founded Turkey. Back at Mustafa Private Middle School, we see a young Kirishima jump out the fucking middle of nowhere to save this little kid who's getting bullied by two other boys. This kid had an interesting quirk. Take leaves and turn it into currency.
It's a pretty dope quirk.
But apparently not permanently. It doesn't last very long. He can't make paper bills. I don't know. I've just never thought of that being a quirk that could exist. But cool thing about this world is literally anything could exist.
That would kind of rule.
Kind of plays into Crystallize's quirk from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
More a similar vein. But Kirishima, always the hero, hops out of the shadows and is like, hey, you beating that little boy up for chump change?
It's not very manly.
It's not. It's always about being manly.
Right?
It's always about being manly at Kirishima.
Yep. It's not very manly, guys.
And I like that one kid turns around and is like, who the fuck are you? The other kid's like, oh, it's Kirishima. Don't worry, I got this. And he just picks up a boulder and just throws it at Kirishima's face.
Right?
Yeah. His quirk just makes his body just a little bit harder, but he's really not tough. And they run away, basically bully this kid off until they get to the end of the alley. And Mina Ashido of Class 1A fame is there in her fucking middle school glory. Apparently she was a bit of a hotshot at her respective middle school. She has since gotten into UA and has become the fucking stupid kid in class, but we'll talk about that in a moment. I don't know. I think it's funny that they put those two together. Like, I didn't expect Mina to have gone to middle school with Kirishima. I don't think that that's referenced earlier. If it was, I totally forgot about it. It's funny that those two less than excellent students from an academic standpoint came from the same middle school. Or whatever. She is something of the hotshot, and she is slated to be something of a success because she's got a very unique look, and she's very marketable, and she's got a really good personality, and all of the things that, you know, encapsulate the other parts of this hero world culture outside of the actual crime fighting and whooping ass part. Like the business side of things. Mina kind of fares to do well in those aspects of her hero career should she choose to go that way. So the idea of her going to 1A is floated pretty early. Kirishima, on the other hand, he doesn't know what the fuck he wants to do. He and his buddies are kind of just like talking about aiming low. They have that conversation like, oh, we should maybe go to the same place. And he's like, I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. I haven't put a lot of thought into it, which is Totally not the case. This is all the motherfucker has been thinking about. And then he has that moment, this the flashback moment where he feels as if he failed. And it's like the most understandable of situations for him to have not acted in, given that he was whatever, like an 8th or 9th grader, who was in no position to really do anything about it.
Right.
But he still is so effing hard on himself about his inability to do anything on it. And it breaks my heart, and it just speaks to who he is as a person. But big old monster, shaking a building, looking for directions to a hero agency, threatening people, asking for directions. Mina Ashido and 2 of her classmates are there. Mina is obviously rightfully scared, acts in the moment, and gives the directions so this dude will fuck off. And she does the clever thing and gives him directions to the police station. And then she gets scared and runs away because, again, she's a fucking kid.
Right.
Kirishima, on the other hand, who was, I don't know, a couple 100 yards away, sees this go down, can't move. Mina Ashido didn't have an option to not move. It was move or die.
Right.
Whatever. So she didn't have the option to run away from it. It was brought to her. Kirishima doesn't move. He beats himself up over it. Mina does a great job handling the situation. Her friends are really, appreciative of her. She admits how scared she was. And it speaks to what Kirishima is yet to learn in this whole situation. Goes home, kind of beats himself up a little bit about it, and he starts to think to himself, and this line is the line that got me. This is like I don't want to say the meme moment of the episode or whatever we've been saying the last few weeks, but he asks himself, what if I had a flashier quirk? Would that give me confidence? Because he's just has this. I mean, we've got evidence of this dude calling himself mediocre going back at least last season. He makes some kind of offhanded comment, and I think Bakugo is the one who kind of sets him straight on it. Maybe it wasn't last season. It was earlier this season.
Well, but that was like from earlier this season. It was like a flashback to like all of them in the common area.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And even in that scene, it's another scene where Kirishima's hair is like all down and not up. Like he's like in home mode or whatever.
Right.
Just relaxing. And I thought that was an interesting visual to put on him in that scene where he's, actually down on himself, calling him his own quirk mediocre, and how once they become pros, his friends are going to excel so much more quickly than he is, and he's just going to have to work that much harder now in order to kind of make sure that gap isn't too big when that time comes. Like all these really cool, respectful things, or things that you could respect him for, I should say, kind of come into play. But with this piece today where he goes home and he asks himself, like, why am I lacking this confidence? What if I had a flashier quirk? Like, think about that and take away the context of superpowers.
Yeah.
Anything. If I had more money, I could just do that. If I looked better, I could just do that.
Right.
If I weighed 20 less pounds, I could do that. If I'm fucking going bald. If I had more hair, I'd talk to that girl. Like, whatever that thing is that's holding you back. In Kirishima's case, it's his insecurity with, the effectiveness or marketability or whatever of his goddamn superpower. But whatever it is that we're talking about, replace superpower with X. I think it's interesting to pose the question, what if I had that? What would it be like? Just strictly from a hypothetical, and just trying to dwell in it for a minute. And I think this is very much what happened to Kirishima in this episode, which is why I stopped to point it all out. He has the opportunity, well, not opportunity, it's really kind of an accident, sort of like some divine intervention almost. No, he drops the magazine or the book or whatever it is, and this little video disc falls out of it. And, he's feeling down on himself. He just kind of pussied out from helping his friends. He doesn't think he's got a marketable quirk. And, this anniversary book with the Crimson Riot falls out, and the compendium disc I keep saying compendium for some reason. Little video disc thing pops up.
Like a video puck.
Yeah, it's weird. I wish those things existed in real life. Do they exist in Japan? Is Japan holding us out?
Probably.
They holding out on us?
They're supposed to be like 5-6 years ahead of us technology wise, something shit like that. So.
That makes sense. But he says that he's never watched it, and it's just this interview with Crimson Riot from some reporter, and the reporter starts with this exact thing that we're talking about. Like, back when you first started, you didn't have a super flashy quirk or a super effective, whatever, powerful quirk, and yet you're still that guy who's always the first to rush in and to help somebody. What do you attribute to you not having fear? And he's like, I'm afraid all the time.
I think the question was like, are you ever afraid to go into those situations head on?
Yeah. And he's like, I'm afraid all the time, every time. What kind of stupid ass question is that?
Dummy.
Stupido. Women. They'll you be reporters now? Gosh.
Wow.
I mean, that's not me talking. That's the Crimson Riot.
True.
So he sets her straight. He says,
right off the bat,
listen, lady, let me tell you a thing or two about being a hero. I'm always afraid. Still, and the ability to act in the face of that is really what, and it's a fucking line that All Might's given us in more than a few times throughout the series. The ability to act in the face of danger, the ability to interfere, acting we technically don't have to, the essence of being a hero. Same kind of idea, same kind of ideal. Even if you're afraid. And Kirishima even has this other reference too. He gets this little motivational pep talk by way of the Crimson Riot about how, Crimson Riot goes on to say, like, what motivates you is, I had this incident when I was a sidekick and I didn't act and I hesitated and this person died and I watched the look on their face as they died. And that look is what continues to motivate me to act, because no matter how afraid I am of whatever the situation is, I'm more afraid of seeing that face of somebody else die again. Really, really powerful. And it's just, it's Kirishima's whole thing in a nutshell. So he gets this little talk from, his hero. And then he hears, and I think this is just like an interesting little detail to the world, kind of lends credence to the lore of Deku and Bakugo, and how like their kind of big deals coming up in this hero world for their respective years. And they talk about how he hears this story in the media about how this other kid from another school, that kid being Bakugo, tried to fight a sludge monster or whatever the heck it is. And how right before his friend tried to rush in to save him, and meaning Deku. I just think it's cool that word of that story has traveled around to so many different places. And when we get people's respective flashbacks, I like that they just tie in that little detail just to kind of give it all like some kind of firm continuity. Like, we know what Kirishima's up to when Deku's doing the sludge monster thing. And then flash to him deciding to not be a down and out, depressed little asshole, and to continue to do his best despite train real hard, work real hard, all that stuff. Gets a new hairdo, applies to 1A. Like, we get the cool little flashback montage. It's very quick. Applies to 1A. He gets in. He gets the little Principal Nezu welcome video. Very cute. And then he walks off to school, and Mina Ashido is like, whoa.
How much product does he use to get it to spike up like that?
I always thought, until they started showing shots of him with his hair down earlier this season,
that his hair was just always like that?
Yeah, I just thought it was like an anime character red. But I like that they give him a natural hair color, black and like down to his shoulders almost. And that it humanizes him a little bit more. That red hair is so much part of his physique and like what his whole thing is supposed to be, hard and rigid or whatever, that it's like that makes sense that his character design's like that. And then it's like, oh no, underneath he's actually not like that. He's a big old softy. And even under, not even underneath, like that's him on the exterior, like that's him on the surface, but he dresses it up to, I don't know, exude confidence or whatever the fuck it is, pay tribute to the Crimson Riot, whatever it is. But we understand that, at least now, next time we see him with spiked red hair, after we see him from, this short black hair thing, it's like the same guy. Like the hair doesn't really change him now. No. I don't know. I feel like the hair maybe has lost its impact. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Either way, I appreciate all of the effort that they're going through to make me empathize and feel for Kirishima. But why? Why? What's the purpose?
They better not kill him.
Dude, what if they do?
I'd be very upset.
I like that he still goes back and apologizes, though. Like,
Yeah, right.
he still is like, hey, sorry that I couldn't save you the other day. And they're all like, who the fuck are you?
Sorry I was a big wuss.
Like, of all the things that you could have been afraid, like, even the girls are like, it's cool. We didn't know you were there. But, even if
don't worry about it.
even if we knew, like, but that's just the kind of dude he is. He's just eternally hard on himself. And that's not a penis joke. Unless it is.
What if it isn't, though?
I don't think it is.
Okay.
So yeah, Fat Gum, that's basically the flashback. We go back to Fat Gum getting the piss pounded out of him. Body shot, body shot, body shot. Boom, 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 boom.
By Rappa, right? That's his name? Rappa?
Parappa the rapper. Got your attention, I'm a gherkin. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire technique. No?
Oh, yeah?
Nobody?
No.
Gotta get the cat fist pill?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Season 2? Round 1/2?
No. Nope.
You guys suck. Anyway, Fat Gum takes the Katsutension Amaguriken to the kidneys, absorbs it all, gets real thin, blasts it back at Muscles McGee arms, and Barrier Boy, asshole Carlton Barrier Boy, forgot about him, puts up a barrier around them, and then they go to hit Fat Gum before he's able to let off his big old blast or whatever, and Kirishima gets in the way, and he blocks it, and he's like, fuck all that.
I want to block this shit now.
I'm back. I'm Ijiro Kirishima, the Red Riot, and I'm about to run all up in your shit.
And I'm all up inspired and shit.
And
this flashback.
He gives Fat Gum just enough time, just the extra amount of time that he needed to be able to charge up all that energy, absorb it, and fucking shoot it back and give the final spear and shield analogy. I'm the ultimate spear, motherfucker. Wow, fuck your shield. And beats them both. And while he shoots off that major looking blast thing, says, you know where you fucked up?
You don't know what you Let me try that again. You know where you all fucked up?
He pulls a Vegeta. Shall I tell you where you miscalculated? That's one of the best episodes. I think it's episode like 77 or 78 of Dragon Ball Super. Vegeta fights Goku Black, and Goku Black's getting the shit kicked out of him. And Vegeta's like, "Wanna know where you fucked up? You a phony, a big fat phony." But that's not what Fat Gum McGee says today. When I call him Fats Gumino, Fats Gumino goes, "You know where you fucked up? You underestimated the chivalrous spirit of the hero Red Riot."
Blazow. Punched him pretty fucking hard, man. That was like some All Might shit.
I mean, he did get hit
a lot,
like probably thousands of times. So much to the point where he was several 100 pounds thinner than when the scene started, when the episode started. So, Rappa Sama did get blown away.
Yes.
And it's the end of the episode. Whatever will happen now with our
We're
heroes.
The winners.
We're the winners, but our heroes are still trapped down the end of a spooky laundry chute.
Yeah, no. I didn't see a way out. Did you?
Maybe the Scooby Gang will come bail them out.
Yeah, Shaggy will just show up and shit.
I feel like Velma would be the one to find the spooky laundry chute, but ultimately when they go to investigate, Shag and Scoob are the ones who fall down it. And then it's Shag, Scoob, Fat Gum, and Kirishima at the bottom of the spooky laundry chute.
And they're just looking for sandwiches because they're hungry.
Yeah, Fat Gum especially.
Mm-hmm.
Fat Gum and Scooby-Doo have to duke it out for a couple sandwiches they find randomly in an old fridge in the corner or something. Like Rappa and Carlton Asshole Shield were down there for a bit. They gave them a fridge. They find their leftovers. Fat Gum eats some of it. Scooby-Doo tries to fucking make an angle for it, makes a play for it. Shaggy throws his hat in the ring.
What does Shaggy do?
Oh, well, if you ask any Dragon Ball fan who is on the internet and has looked at a meme, they'll say, Shag will go Super Ultra Instinct, man. Ultra Instinct Shaggy, bro. So funny, man.
I have no idea what that means.
Ultra Instinct?
No.
Man, you don't know dick about Dragon Ball, huh?
No.
God
Zero.
You're missing out.
Okay.
It's the granddaddy. Started it all, man.
I know.
We ain't got no Boku no Hero Academia. Don't need Dragon Ball.
I know.
Boku no Hero Academia. I gotta stop doing that.
Why?
I know why. So, episode ends. We get the preview for next week. It's called Temp Squad.
Temp Squad.
Temp Squad.
Temp Squad.
Temp Squad. And Deku does the preview, and he says something to the effect of, we're all still charging ahead. We're all separated. We get shots of everybody in their separate, little spaces. Deku's group is still moving down the hallway. Mirio seems to be in close proximity. Fat Gum and Kirishima, that's the name, they're still down at the end of the spooky laundry shoot. Bubble Girl's upstairs with the basically the preview shows you that everybody is very much in separate parts of this stronghold now, right? And
Mirio's still running through walls and
Mirio's
shit.
kitty priding through the motherfucker. And I think it's Deku then says something to the effect of, wait a minute, what are they doing here in the preview? What are they doing here?
Who is they?
I assume it's somebody that you have some familiarity with and that you're not happy to see. So if I had to make a guess.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe it's the League of Villains?
That's probably a pretty strong possibility.
Maybe it's the League of Villains?
I don't think it's a maybe. I think it is.
Yeah. So League of Villains coming in. Here's the thing. I said it to you. I think it was pretty much a no-brainer that the League of Villains were going to get involved with this at some point.
Yeah.
We knew this. Heroes didn't. We did. Except maybe the heroes did know. All right. I said this to you off mic before we started. Gran Torino is not in this this raid at all, and they do make the point of, I think is it Sukayuchi who says it to them, like he's not going to be joining us today, he's working on something else, whatever.
Right.
And Deku's like, oh, that's weird. Like Gran Torino's the dude. He was at the meeting for this. Maybe what he's been up to while they're getting this raid together is maybe he's been off investigating the League of Villains and just kind of tracking them and seeing what the fuck they're up to and seeing if there's any correlation as to what the Shie Saikai are up to and what the villains are doing. So maybe the League of Villains is about to flank us, and then Gran Torino comes in and saves the motherfucking day. Maybe with a little old All Might, with some quirk juice.
Quirk juice.
Quirk juice. What if All Might dies in episode 74? Because he quirk juices after he saves them from a flank. And episode 74, All Might dies. Quirk juice overload.
No.
What if Gran Torino dies from old man overload?
Old man overload.
Happens every day. Old man overload happens every day. That's a real medical condition.
Old man overload.
Dead.
What are the symptoms of old man overload?
You're grumpy, you're short, you got white hair, you's a bitch, you drool, you fall asleep in weird places, you drive very slow, you smell like perhaps your organs are rotting from the inside, you keep tissues in your pocket, you got glasses with the chain around your neck, you got nose hair that you don't care to pluck no more, maybe you got fake teeth, maybe you got a wife, maybe she's dead, maybe you wish she was dead. These are all signs of old man fuckasitis or whatever the fuck I said it was.
Old man fuckasitis, huh?
What was the name of it before we started all those lists?
I don't even remember.
Whatever. Maybe
Old man
colitis.
No. Shit.
Whatever it is, Gran Torino might have it, and he might die in episode 74. So just to recap, we got Tamajiki, Amajiki. That could be one. Could be Kirishima because of The Walking Dead. Could be Fat Gum because he ain't got no BMI and he's skinny.
I love how we're associating Kirishima with The Walking Dead.
I mean, it makes all the sense. I laid out my case. It could be All Might with the quirk juice OD. Could be Gran Torino with old man colitis. And it could be Froppy because that'd be a real easy one without any real work they have to put in. It'd just be an easy, you feel sad now without any major effects to the rest of the story.
You said Tamajiki again.
I said Tamajiki, Amajiki. I believe is how I just said his name when I started that list. Okay. I definitely started with Tom and then went to Tamajiki, and then went to Amajiki. Because I couldn't remember what his first name really was, which is Tamaki Amajiki. See? I remember things.
Okay. Whatever.
Old man colitis for Gran Torino, though. That's the fucking shits.
Oh, that's the shits?
in a bad way.
I know. No, I know.
Shits plural is bad.
Yeah.
The shit is okay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's cool. But if that's the shits, then
that, yeah.
That sucks.
That's terrible.
That's no bueno.
No paddles. You're up Shit's Creek, man.
Up Shit's Creek.
No paddles.
So, who do you think is going to die in Boku no Hero Academia, episode 74?
I do not know, man. I think it's going to be either Aizawa, because that's...
Could be a good one. Dark horse pick.
That's a dark horse pick.
It's another one. We listed like 7 potential people who could die in episode 74.
Yep.
So, either way, so long as it's one of those 7, we totally called it.
Yeah. We have a 1 in 7 chance, bro. Not really, because what if it's not one of those 7 people?
I mean, we picked 7 people, bro. I feel like we covered our bases.
I know we did, but what if it's not?
I'd be pissed. What if it's like Shukayuchi? What's his name? Sukayuchi. The cop guy that they're friends with.
Yeah.
All Might's best friend who's a cop. Sukayuchi, I think is his name.
Yeah, I know. Suguchi.
That took me a minute to try to say it. I just said his name like 5 minutes ago, too.
You know what I've been wondering? Where's the fucking the dog commissioner?
Woof.
Woof.
That was only in Hosu City, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. You're right.
Oh, go Kyle. Yeah. Tell me all you know about Dragon Ball again, you motherfuckers. Anyway, make sure you hope you enjoyed. Make sure, you know what? Let us know. Who do you think is going to die in episode 74, Mr. Listener?
Leave comments, man.
Yeah, let us know. Twitter at DB Super Dope. We don't do Facebook because that's where the Nazis and old people live.
Terrible people.
Instagram at DB Super Dope. You could email us if you want to get the invitation to the 3rd annual Dragon Ball Super Dope Christmas party. Wow, 3rd annual already.
It's Christmas, y'all.
What's the matter with me? If you want to get the invite to the 3rd annual Super Dope Christmas party this Saturday, December the 21st, email me. Seriously, just email me. If you tweet at me about it, I don't want to hear it, okay? Email me at dbsuperdope@gmail.com. And thank you for listening. Make sure you rate, subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, all the places where the podcasts live. Recommend it with your friends. If you got friends who like My Hero Academia and you're not sharing this podcast with them,
why not?
That's not very cool of you.
Yeah.
You are being foolish and selfish. And please do not be a selfish fool no mas.
Share it, people.
Seriously, that's how we
Sharing is caring.
I mean, yeah, no, our best listeners, the best listeners who find the show come from other listeners who, show them the way in. So this is the way. All right. Mandalorian. This is
the way.
Episode 6 was dope the other day.
Yeah, it was.
For real. We should do like just a Mandalorian discussion for the Patreon people one day.
Yeah.
Just leave it up there. We'll do like the whole season once it's done, maybe. Because doing episode by episode, I'd rather fucking stab myself in the neck with this pen. But whole season discussion, I could probably get down with that.
Yeah, me too.
Whatever. All right. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Federico, good job, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Wait, that's the wrong song.
That's the wrong one, man. Peace out.
Gonna raise my hand with the peace sound. Fetty's reminded me of songs.